August 2, 2025. As dawn breaks over Beijing, the city awakens to a day of immense significance. The air is thick with anticipation and the first rays of sunlight glint off the city's iconic skyline, hinting at the spectacle to come. Beijing holds its breath as Tiananmen Square, the symbolic heart of the nation, transforms into a grand stage. Security is tight, and crowds gather in waves, eager to witness a display that will be broadcast to millions. Columns of PLA soldiers, their uniforms crisp and movements synchronized, march in perfect unison. Overhead, J-20 stealth fighters slice through the sky, their engines thundering as they leave trails of white against the blue, a testament to China's technological prowess. President Xi Jinping stands atop the historic Gate of Heavenly Peace, his figure commanding attention. He delivers a speech that reverberates not only across the vast square, but also through television screens and radios around the globe. In his address, Xi hails the PLA's journey from its humble, revolutionary roots to its current status as a world-class force. He emphasizes the military's role as the shield of China's rejuvenation, a guardian of national pride and unity. The parade is more than a ceremonial tradition, it's a carefully orchestrated message. China is now a military titan, ready and willing to defend its interests, not just at home, but on the global stage. Tanks rumble past, their armor gleaming in the sunlight. DF-41 intercontinental ballistic missiles, capable of reaching distant continents, roll by alongside cutting-edge drones and advanced hardware. This formidable arsenal is meant to deter adversaries and reinforce the Communist Party's legitimacy. For many in the crowd, it's a proud celebration of national achievement, a moment to cheer and wave flags. Yet for others, both in China and abroad, it's a sobering reminder of the state's power, a chilling display of authoritarian strength and discipline. The world watches intently. International journalists capture every moment, while live broadcasts beam the spectacle into homes and offices from Washington to Tokyo, New Delhi to Beijing. Each nation interprets the display through its own lens, weighing its implications. This parade encapsulates a central question that echoes far beyond China's borders. What does the rise of China's military mean for the world? Is it a sign of a new era of stability, or a harbinger of competition and uncertainty? The answer is complex, shaped by a century of history, rapid modernization, and the relentless march of technology. The PLA's evolution mirrors China's own transformation on the world stage. As the last echoes of the parade fade, the world is left to ponder. Is this a promise of security and peace, or a warning of power and ambition? The celebration of power in Beijing leaves no one indifferent, and its meaning will be debated for years to come. Today's People's Liberation Army, or PLA, stands as a symbol of China's global ambitions. Equipped with cutting-edge technology and a reach that extends far beyond its borders. But this formidable force is a far cry from its humble beginnings, when it was little more than a collection of determined revolutionaries. The PLA's story began in 1927 with the Nanchang Uprising, a desperate, courageous stand by a ragtag group of fighters who believed in a new future for China. They faced overwhelming odds, driven by ideals of equality and national renewal. The legendary Long March of the 1930s tested their endurance and unity, forging a unique identity rooted in sacrifice and resilience. After the founding of the People's Republic in 1949, the PLA transformed into a massive land-based army, focused on defending the nation through the doctrine of People's War. The Korean War was a turning point, proving the PLA's resolve and willingness to fight, but also revealing its technological shortcomings compared to global powers. For decades, the PLA remained a largely low-tech defensive force, tasked with protecting China's vast borders and ensuring the Communist Party's grip on power during turbulent times. In recent years, however, the PLA has undergone a dramatic transformation. Now the world's largest active-duty military, it is shifting its focus from sheer numbers to advanced capabilities, propelled by China's rapid economic growth and technological innovation. This modernization reflects China's expanding interests, protecting vital sea lanes, securing overseas investments, and projecting power on a global scale, from the South China Sea to Africa. The PLA's evolution is a mirror of China's own transformation, from a nation once marked by poverty and isolation to one of prosperity, technological prowess, and growing international influence. Today, the PLA is not just a guardian of the motherland, but a key instrument of China's global ambitions, participating in peacekeeping missions, international exercises, and asserting its presence on the world stage. Understanding the PLA's remarkable journey from its revolutionary roots to its modern might is essential to grasping the motivations and strategies behind China's ongoing military modernization. The PLA's most dramatic transformation began in 2015 under Xi Jinping. Xi dismantled the old Soviet-style command, replacing it with streamlined agencies under his direct control. He reorganized 7 military regions into 5 joint theater commands, modeled after the US system, to ensure seamless multi-branch operations. These reforms broke down inter-service rivalries, centralized power, and made the PLA more agile and loyal to the party. The result, a force built for high-tech joint warfare capable of projecting power far beyond China's borders. The PLA of 2025 is Xi's creation, politically loyal, structurally integrated, and operationally ready. China's military modernization is most visible in its leap in hardware and technology. No longer just copying, China now develops world-class systems, thanks to decades of investment and military-civil fusion. The J-20 stealth fighter and a growing fleet of drones give China air dominance and reach deep into the Pacific. At sea, the PLA Navy is now the world's largest, with 3 aircraft carriers and advanced destroyers and submarines. This blue water navy protects vital sea lanes and asserts China's maritime claims. The PLA rocket force wields carrier-killer missiles and hypersonic weapons, creating a powerful anti-access/area denial bubble. These advances challenge US dominance in the region and beyond. China's arsenal is designed to deter intervention and secure its interests. The message: China is now a peer competitor in military technology. The world must reckon with this new reality. The mission of the People's Liberation Army, or PLA, now stretches far beyond the traditional boundaries of China. Once focused primarily on defending the homeland, the PLA is increasingly active on the global stage, reflecting China's growing ambitions and interests around the world. As China's economic and political influence expands, so does its need to safeguard its citizens, investments, and vital supply chains overseas. Chinese workers, engineers, and business people are now present in dozens of countries, making the protection of these assets a top priority for the PLA. The establishment of the Djibouti base in 2017 marked a historic milestone, China's first permanent overseas military installation. This facility supports PLA operations in Africa and the Middle East, enabling rapid response to crises and enhancing China's ability to project power far from home. Beyond Djibouti, China is investing heavily in building or financing strategic ports in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and other key locations. These projects, often linked to the Belt and Road Initiative, have sparked debate about their potential military uses and the possibility of dual-use facilities that serve both commercial and defense purposes. These overseas outposts and partnerships significantly extend the PLA Navy's operational reach and endurance, allowing Chinese warships to operate farther from home for longer periods and to participate in international exercises and missions. China is also a leading contributor to United Nations peacekeeping missions, deploying thousands of PLA personnel to conflict zones. This not only provides valuable experience for Chinese troops but also helps Beijing project an image of global responsibility and cooperation. The PLA's expanding global presence marks a clear shift from a focus on regional defense to a strategy of global power projection, signaling China's intent to play a larger role in international security affairs. Critics describe this as a string of pearls strategy, an effort to establish a network of military and commercial facilities encircling key maritime routes. Beijing, however, maintains that these efforts are purely for logistics and the security of its overseas interests. Regardless of the interpretation, the PLA's area of responsibility now spans the globe, with Chinese forces and assets visible in regions once considered far beyond their reach. In today's world, China's military is no longer confined to its own borders. The PLA's expanding footprint is reshaping the global security landscape and raising new questions about the future balance of power. China's military rise alarms the West and its neighbors. The US now sees China as its primary strategic rival, reorienting defense strategy to counter PLA capabilities. Allies like Japan and India are boosting their own militaries in response to China's assertiveness. The PLA's actions in the South China Sea, building and militarizing islands, are viewed as coercive and destabilizing. Southeast Asian nations fear for their sovereignty as China dominates key waterways. Western intelligence accuses the PLA of cyber-espionage and developing anti-satellite weapons, threatening global security. The West sees the PLA's rise as a revisionist challenge to the international order. China's growing power is viewed not as peaceful but as a threat to stability. The military competition is spreading to cyberspace and space. The world is entering a new era of strategic rivalry. Beijing rejects the China threat label, calling it a misreading rooted in Cold War thinking. Chinese leaders insist military modernization is defensive, meant to prevent a repeat of past humiliations. They argue China's defense spending is modest compared to the US, and a strong military is natural for a major power. The PLA's role, they say, is to safeguard peaceful development, protect trade, and contribute to global security. Actions in the South China Sea and Taiwan are framed as defensive, not aggressive. China claims it seeks cooperation, not confrontation, and will never pursue hegemony. Xi Jinping presents the PLA as a shield for prosperity, not a sword for conquest. Western anxieties in this view are overreactions to China's rightful rise. The debate over the PLA's rise is a clash of perspectives. The West sees China's military buildup as destabilizing, citing South China Sea militarization, pressure on Taiwan, and cyber campaigns as evidence of aggression. Critics argue unchecked power leads to coercion and threatens the international order. China counters that it's claiming its rightful place after centuries of weakness, building a strong military for defense, not conquest. Beijing calls Western fears hypocritical, pointing to America's global military presence. Supporters say the PLA's focus is regional and responsible with limited global ambitions. The China threat theory, they argue, is a pretext for US containment. Both sides see the same facts, but draw opposite conclusions. The world is left to judge threat or peaceful rise. The answer shapes the future of global security. As the PLA marks its 98th anniversary, the world faces a pivotal question. Will China's military rise lead to conflict or coexistence? One path is rivalry, assertive moves by China, pushback by the US and allies, and a risk of miscalculation. A new Cold War could emerge with military competition and global division. Another path is managed competition, restraint, communication, and diplomacy to avoid crisis. Both sides would need to accommodate each other's interests and vulnerabilities. The PLA's power is undeniable, but its ultimate impact remains unwritten. The world watches, hoping for peace but preparing for the alternative. The story of China's military rise is still unfolding.